African countries unite at UN against Trump's slur. 54 countries demanded an apology from the U.S. president following his reported racist and xenophobic remarks on immigration. African countries at the United Nations unanimously demanded on Friday that U.S. President Donald Trump retract and apologize for his reported denunciation of immigration from whole nations. The African group of UN ambassadors is extremely appalled at and strongly condemns the outrageous, racist and xenophobic remarks by the President of the United States of America, as widely reported by the media, a statement said. After an emergency session to weigh Mr. Trump's remarks, the group said it was concerned at the continuing and growing trend from the U.S. administration toward Africa and people of African descent to denigrate the continent and people of color, while demanding a retraction and an apology from Mr. Trump. The 54 countries also thanked those Americans from all walks of life who have condemned the remarks. The resolution was passed unanimously after 4 hours of discussions. For once, we are all on the same page, an ambassador told AFP. The ambassadors did not consult their governments before issuing the resolution, he said, adding that some could now expect to receive phone calls from their capitals because of the text's strong tone. Mr. Trump's comments were allegedly made on Thursday at a White House meeting with lawmakers on immigration reform, after lawmakers raised the issue of protections for immigrants from African nations, Haiti and El Salvador. The president reportedly demanded to know why the United States should accept immigrants from whole countries, rather than, for instance, wealthy and overwhelmingly white Norway. He tweeted a convoluted denial on Friday in an attempt to quell outrage both at home and abroad. Earlier, the 55-nation African Union condemned the remarks, while Botswana and Senegal hauled in the U.S. ambassador to complain. The comment truly flies in the face of accepted behavior in practice, said Eba Kalondo, spokeswoman for O Chief Moussa Faki. Western Sahara is not recognized as a sovereign state by the UN and thus not included in its African group. It is, however, part of the African Union, which Morocco left in 1984 over the body's recognition of the disputed territory's independence before rejoining it last year. Trump chose to fight the Wall Street Journal through interviews. President Donald Trump started Sunday morning by picking up a fight with the Wall Street Journal, packing the report of an interview, sitting down with him, receiving a false word. The Wall Street Journal incorrectly said that I told them I have a good relationship with Kim Jong-un. Obviously I do not say that, the president wrote. Twitter, I said I have a good relationship with Kim Jong-un, a big difference. Fortunately, we recorded the conversation with the reporters. He added, and they know exactly what I mean and they just want a fake news story, for its part. The magazine is behind the recording of its interview. On Saturday evening, the newspaper issued a sound from an interview with the president, which proclaimed that the president was, I want White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said on Twitter on Saturday night that the magazine, Truly, and The Dawn included what she said was the official voice of the interview. Trump and his team have repeatedly chosen to fight both big and small with news organizations and journalists. Attempts to counter this so-called fake news include a tweet from the president Saturday night, sparking presidential frustration with Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury. Inside the House, Trump's first publicly announced tweet since Hawaii received a false warning of a ballistic missile strike on Saturday. Sanders said they contacted the magazine on Friday to request a revision when the article published a full transcript. We first contacted WSJ on Friday morning and requested a modification, Sanders wrote on Twitter. They repeatedly refused to issue a report despite clear evidence that they had made a false POTUS. The Wall Street Journal is part of the media empire Rupert Murdoch, which also includes Fox News. Different listeners in the tape heard different things. Tweeting on immigration. The president also emphasized the Democratic Party because of not really wanting an agreement that could make permanent for the so-called First Dreamers protection granted by an administrative action of the president. Obama deferred action for the child to come. The DACA may have died because the Democrats do not really want to. They just wanted to talk and need money from our troops, the president said on Twitter. Last week, the president suggested at a White House meeting that he would sign any lawmaker who could compromise. But since then, Politico has reported that Trump and the White House have rejected an agreement the 6 senators have made to give Dreamers a path to citizenship in exchange for changes to immigration laws and sponsor the long-awaited wall of the president along the U.S.-Mexico border.